There we go. So, I hate to say this. Actually, no, I'm happy to say this. It looks like there is a cultural shift going on, and it's in full swing. You take a look at movements like Walk Away, who the media will claim are nothing but Russian bots. But it's a bunch of Democrats, former Democrats, basically coming out and testifying about how they were once Democrats, and after seeing the impotent rage and the apoplexy of Democratic politicians and other people on the left, they're walking away. They're leaving the Democratic Party. And it would seem to me that they're probably going to be voting Republican in the 2018 midterms. While over in the UK, you had Count Dankula started this whole movement to get young people to join UKIP. And I was watching a video by Sargon of Akkad last night, and he was going over some stories over there where it looks like Tories are hemorrhaging supporters because of Theresa May's poorly executed Brexit deal. And that support is going over to UKIP. And, you know, it's not surprising, right? People don't want to just be pandered to, which is, you know, the sort of modus operandi of politicians. They've been trained and are skilled at saying what they need to say to get the support of people. And they're typically very polished in their speaking. And they have no problem saying one thing and then doing something completely different, because they have, they have a canned response when people call them out on it. You know, politics is difficult, and we had to make concessions, and we had to make choices, and what we intended to do in the initial stages was not something we could maintain in later negotiations. This is a standard canned response that every politician will use when they can't live up to promises they've made, right? Politics is a difficult business. It's a dirty business. Blah 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 blah. It's not our fault. It's just the paradigm we live in. It's just the world we live in. Well, you guys are the ones who made that fucking world. Anyway, it's a cynical view of politics, but it's the reason for things like Brexit. It's the reason for things like Trump. And I was watching a clip on YouTube last night of The Five. I'm not sure if you're aware of it. It's a Fox News program, or Fox News Channel program with I think it's Jesse Waters and Greg Gutfeld and a couple of other talking heads. Anyway, they were talking about what the Democrats can do, or what they're likely to do in 2018 and 2020 beyond, and the consensus of these guys, who are for the most part Republicans. Oh, they have Juan Williams as well, who's a Democrat, and sort of the I hate to use this word because he's a black guy, but he's the token Democrat, right? He's the token liberal on the group. They're very respectful of him. They disagree with him, and they joke back and forth. But he's the minority in that group. There's four people who agree politically, and one guy who disagrees with them, and he's kind of left there, sort of at the margins, and he gets a few jabs in here and there. But he's got the same position in that group as what's his name. He used to be on Hannity. Combs. Hannity and Combs had whatever his name was, David Combs, something. Anyway, Combs was the token lefty, right? And he was this meek, quiet kind of, voice that just popped up here and there to show that Fox News had balance, right? We all know it's just a play. But anyway, point is, on this show last night, they were talking about what the Democrats can do to make gains in 2018 and then 2020. Who are they going to put up against Trump? Because Trump has been coming out and saying, "Oh, I'd love it if it would be Biden. Oh, that would be wonderful." Biden never got 1% of the vote, and then Obama pulled him out of the trash heap. In Trump's typical style of belittling his opponent, like before his opponent has a chance to call him out. But I mean, Biden said some pretty awful things about Trump too, about he beat him up in the schoolyard or some shit like that. Anyway, so they're talking about who are they going to run? They have to run somebody who can get down in the dirt with Trump and come out of it okay. And the problem is they don't have anybody in the establishment Democrat Party. So they're floating people like Ocasio-Cortez, but she's only 28. She won't be old enough to run for president in 2020. You got to be 35 in the U.S. to run for president, which I've always thought was kind of weird. But I think if you're above the age of majority, you should be able to participate in the political game, even at the highest level of office. That's how it is in Canada. You don't need to be a minimum age, if I'm not mistaken, to be Prime Minister of Canada. You can be as young as 18, assuming you win in your riding and win the support of your party. You can run for Prime Minister. But anyway, that being said, the Democrats don't really have anybody to run. They need somebody who, like I said, can take on Donald Trump in the way that Donald Trump needs to be taken on. They need somebody charismatic. So the idea is that maybe they get a celebrity. Maybe they get somebody who, has appeal outside of the political realm. I don't know who that'd be. For a while they were floating Oprah Winfrey. For a while they were floating, Mark Cuban. But I don't know that any of those people could take on Donald Trump. Oprah Winfrey maybe, but I don't think she has the political acumen. I don't think she understands things on the world stage the way, Trump seems to have this sort of innate sense of things because of his years of negotiating, right? His years of being a mogul. Anyway, the point of the original video was the fact that we're in the populist paradigm now. We're in the paradigm of political leaders who can't just be politicians. They're flailing and they're failing. Every politician who runs by the same game as usual of being a politician and acting like a politician, speaking like a politician, are getting raked over the coals. They're getting destroyed in the culture war because of memeing shitlords on the internet. They can take them down with a simple, image macro. It's, I don't know. I mean, in the UK, Corbyn is likely to win Prime Minister next election, but it's a few years away. It's like 5 years away, I think. In Canada, Trudeau is going to be either re-elected in 2019 or he's going to be defeated. Trudeau is, in a sense, a populist, right? He was, for the most part, kind of an inexperienced outsider who didn't have a lot of experience in the political realm. He was, part of the Liberal Party and an MPP, or an MP, I should say, before he was Prime Minister. But only briefly. He hadn't been doing it a long, long time. He's populist because he had a populist message. And while it was left-wing social justice nonsense populist message, his promises to legalize pot and his, effeminate speaking style and nice hair won over the women vote. So, but, back to the point, he still speaks like a politician because his handlers have made him speak like a politician. And he's terribly bad at it. That's why he says, like 56 times in a 2-minute statement. So yeah, I mean, politics is dead. Populism is on the rise. I don't know if it's a good thing for democracy or Western civilization, but, it is what it is. Will UKIP ever win in the UK? I don't know. It's 5 years is a long way away. Who knows? Maybe the Tories can be turned into a marginal party like the Democrats seem to be destined to be. I don't know. But if the Democrats run someone like Cory Booker or Kamala Harris, who, while they're younger, are still establishment politicians, I don't know that they have the temperament for it. Because Trump, the difference is, they say, well, Trump doesn't have the temperament for it. He's bombastic. Yeah, Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being bombastic, but when you're vehement and vitriolic, that turns people off. Being bombastic is actually attractive to a lot of people. They think that, wow, that guy, speaks his mind. Being vitriolic is off-putting. People cringe at it. They're like, ugh. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I suspect that the Democrats, if they want to win in 2020, they'll run somebody other than Joe Biden, other than Kamala Harris, other than Cory Booker. Apparently, I read something today that Eric Holder is considering a run in 2020, which, I mean, there's so much dirt on Eric Holder. I mean, that would be a freak show. They would just destroy him. We'll see. I don't know. Anyway, this was a very politics-heavy discussion. It wasn't one of my philosophical, I wonder kind of videos. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you like my channel. And if you do, like and subscribe. And if you don't, leave a shitty comment in the comment section. Thanks very much. Talk to you later.